Hello queens. I'm back at y'all with another client tutorial, and today I'm showing y'all how I created this purple smoky eye look, and we're jumping straight into the video. I'm starting this off by cleaning my client's face. Now that her face is all clean, I'm going to move on to her eyebrows, and I'm using my Nicka K brow pencil. This one is in the shade black, and I'm just outlining her brows. Now that both of her brows have been outlined, I'm going to start filling in all the sparse areas. Once I've made my way to the front of her eyebrows, I'm just going in with a lighter shade, and as you can see, I'm doing little hair-like strokes. This is just going to make it easier to blend into the back. Then I'm going to blend everything out using the spoolie end of my pencil, and once I have it to my liking, I'm going to move on to the other brow. Now that both of the brows have been filled in, I'm going in with a generous amount of my Eye Envy Clear Eyelash Glue, and I'm using this to mold her brow hairs down in place. Once the product has been applied to the brows, as you can see, I'm just taking my spoolie and I'm using it to press the hairs down in place. Now I'm just going to be going in with these two Nicka K concealers, and they're in the shades 02 and 11. First I'm going in with the shade 02, and I'm using this to clean up underneath her arch. Now I'm just going in with shade number 11, and I'm going to use it to clean up the remainder of the way on the top and the bottom of my client's eyebrows. Once I'm finished cleaning up this brow, I'm going to go ahead and start cleaning up the other one. Now that both the brows have been cleaned up, this is what they're looking like. I'm taking some of my RCMA no color powder and I'm applying this to the front of her brows to lighten them up. I'm also going to be using it to set some of the concealer in place. For an eyeshadow base, y'all should already know by now, I'm going in with my e.l.f. Camo Concealer in the shade White. And I'm going to be applying this all over her lids. I like to work one eye at a time because this product does dry very quickly. For today's eyeshadow look, I'm going in with my juvia'splace Culture palette. And first, I'm taking the darkest purple shade out of the palette. And I'm just going to be applying this in her eyes, basically in the shape of a halo. So I'm going to start at the edge and then I'm going to bring it in towards the inner corner. For the transition, I'm going in with another purple shade. This is like one shade up from the last one, and I'm just applying it all around the edges. Now I'm taking these two P.Louise bases. First I'm going in with the lilac shade and I'm applying this to the center of her eyes, as you can see, just to that area that we left clean. I'm going in with that dark purple shade and I'm using it to blend out the edges. Now I'm just going in and setting the base in place using this matte colored lilac shade, and this was a little darker than the base, so to lighten it up I just went in with a matte white eyeshadow on top of it, and y'all are gonna see that in the next clip. I mainly focused it in the center. I'm going back in with those purple shades, and I'm going to make sure that the edges are really blended out before we move on. I'm taking these two pigments from AshleyLeeCosmetics, and they're in the shades Supernova and Silver Milky Way. I'm going to mix them together and apply them to the center of her eyes. You don't need an adhesive to go in with the pigments. You can just go right on top of the eyeshadow. Now I'm finally going in with that light blue P.Louise base, and I'm applying it to the inner corners of her eyes. Now I'm just going in and setting the base in place with an eyeshadow. I'm going in with this Is Me New York glitter in the shade Diamond, and I'm applying it to the center of her lids. I wanted them to be a little bit more sparkly, and I did go in with an adhesive off camera, so I just tapped it on top of the pigment, and I used my Eye Envy Clear Eyelash Glue. Now moving on to the face, I'm going in with my Pond's moisturizer, and I'm just using this to hydrate her skin. Now I'm just going to go in and tap out the moisturizer using this damp Real Technique sponge. To prime her face, I'm going in with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, and I'm just going to focus this in her T-zone, and I'm also going to be blending it out using my sponge. I'm going in with my Nicka K concealer in the shade number 11, and I'm basically going to be using this as her foundation. I'm taking my Nicka K concealer in the shade number 4, I believe, and I'm using this to highlight her face. Now I'm just going back in with my foundation brush, and I'm using it to press in all of the concealer. I'm going to allow the concealer to sit under her eyes a little longer and move on to contour. To contour her face, I'm using my juvia'splace foundation stick, and I'll have the shade name in the description box. I went ahead and contoured her nose off camera. Now I'm just going to go ahead and blend out the concealer underneath her eyes. To set the concealer in place, I'm going to be going in with my Morphe loose powder in the shade Banana Rich. To set the contoured areas of her face, I'm going in with my Black Radiance pressed powder in the shade Black Coffee. I'm taking my Fit Me pressed powder in the shade Truffle, and I'm using it to set the remaining areas of her face. Now I'm just going in with some blush. This blush came from my juvia'splace Saharan blush palette. This is the burgundy and the orange shade mixed together. Now I'm just going in with some black eyeshadow, and I'm running this all across her waterline. I'm taking that purple eyeshadow and I'm running it across her lower lash line. Now that I'm finished with the under eyes, I'm going to go ahead and dust away all of the powder. I'm going in with this Morphe setting spray, and I'm just going to spray her face in place. While her face is still drying, I'm just going to go ahead and move on to lashes. I went ahead and cut her lashes to fit her eyes off camera, so now I'm just gluing them onto her lash line, and I get all of my lashes off of Shein. I'm taking the highlighter from my Be Perfect Carnival XL palette, and I'm just going to go ahead and highlight her face. Moving on to the lips, I'm going in with my Ruby Kisses Cream Foundation, and I'm using this to outline her lips. I'm going in with this pink liquid lipstick from Absolute New York, and I'm just applying it to the center of her lips. I'm going to top it off with this pale pink lip gloss from the brand OZ Lab, and I believe it's in the shade number 1. And then I'm going to have her press her lips together to help me blend everything out. I wanted her lips to be a little bit more glossy, so now I'm going on top of them with another gloss. Once I'm finished blending out her lips, that'll be the finished look, and we'll be stepping into the grand reveal, so I'm gonna let y'all watch. Okay, ready to see? You already smiling.
This is tea. It's cute. Period.
Let me see what time it is.
This is cute.
Okay, queens, we've made it to the end of the video, and as y'all can see by my client's reaction, this tutorial was another success. Y'all, she loved this look and I loved it as well. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Make sure that y'all follow me on Instagram. A link will be in the description box down below, and stay tuned for my next one. Bye bye, queens.